This is a single piece of hand-carved hardwood in the shape of a modern 16-inch vehicle wheel. It's 31 inches high and about 4 to 5 inches thick. It weighs about 75-80 lbs. It came with a custom welded display mount. The finder wonders if it's an ancient grinder or a wagon wheel. You're right about it being a wheel. The link provided shows a very similar one, described as a wooden archaic wheel on stand as modern sculpture. While it is a genuine, very old wooden wheel, possibly from a cart or an agricultural implement from a place like India or Southeast Asia, its primary value now is as a decorative, sculptural object. Its rough, hand-carved appearance and aged patina give it a powerful, rustic aesthetic. The custom display mount indicates it was being appreciated as a piece of art. This is a glass ball globe with an old black rubber base. The base has a raised-up area with 5 holes in it that don't go all the way through. It has a patent number from 1892. What is it? It's a flower aquarium. This is a charming piece of Victorian decor. You would stick the stems of fresh flowers into the holes in the rubber base. You then fill the glass globe completely with water. The rubber base is then screwed on, creating a watertight seal. When you turn the whole thing upside down, the flowers are beautifully displayed, magnified by the water and the curved glass, in their own little aquarium. It's a unique and elegant way to display cut flowers. These are silver-colored metal filigree cylinders with dome caps and intricate open-work patterns. There are 12 pieces, weighing 400 grams total. What are they? An image search for Bali beads shows what you've got there. These are handmade beads from Bali, Indonesia, known for their intricate and traditional silversmithing techniques. The filigree, delicate wirework, and granulation, tiny beaded details, are hallmarks of Balinese silver craftsmanship. These would be used as components in making high-quality handcrafted jewelry, such as necklaces or bracelets. They are usually made of sterling silver, and a large lot like this could be quite valuable. Small brown or yellow bead things keep appearing on my cat's chair. I vacuum them, but they still appear. They are very tiny, but very hard. I've noticed them for about a month. What are they? This looks like tapeworm segments. Tapeworms are intestinal parasites that cats can get, often from ingesting fleas. The tapeworm is made of many small segments, called proglottids. As the worm matures, these segments, which are filled with eggs, break off and are passed in the cat's feces. They are often described as looking like small grains of rice or sesame seeds. When they dry out, they become hard and yellowish. This is a sign that your cat has tapeworms and needs to be treated by a veterinarian. This is a pair of black foot covers with multiple Velcro straps and a grippy side. They are made of a soft, spongy material. They look like they could be slipped over the front of a foot. What are they? They're for plantar fasciitis. This is a type of night splint. Plantar fasciitis is a common cause of heel pain. This splint is worn at night while sleeping. The straps are used to hold the foot in a dorsiflexed position, with the toes pulled gently upwards. This keeps a constant, gentle stretch on the plantar fascia ligament and the Achilles tendon overnight, which can help to reduce the inflammation and the sharp morning heel pain that is characteristic of the condition. Found while walking through an open field, this is very lightweight. The gem appears to be glass, and the gray setting around it has a plastic feel. It's roughly 5 centimeters in diameter. What is it? This is a small decorative reflector or a knob faceplate, possibly from the mid-20th century or later. It could be a reflector from the pedal or the fender of a vintage bicycle or a motorcycle. Alternatively, it could be the decorative faceplate from a knob on a piece of furniture, an old radio, or an appliance where the gem was simply a stylistic element. Its lightweight plastic construction suggests a decorative rather than a heavy-duty purpose. These black plastic objects were included in a science kit a 3-year-old received at a fall fest. The kit had stuff for a baking soda volcano, but the purpose of these is unclear. What are they for? It's for making a color mixing flow demonstration. These plastic pieces are connectors for creating a cascade of small test tubes or vials. As shown in the Instagram reel, you would fill several tubes with different colored liquids. By connecting them with these pieces and then flipping the entire assembly, You can watch the colored liquids flow and mix together in a visually interesting way. It is a simple but fun component from a children's science kit designed to demonstrate the principles of color mixing. Around 50 of these spherical objects with dark spots are in front of one house in Southern California. The house next door is undergoing construction. The spheres appear somewhat gooey when squished. What are they? Another place I asked said that they might be fertilizer granules, which seems like a very good theory. This is likely a type of slow-release fertilizer used by landscapers. The granules, or prills, are coated with a polymer that slowly breaks down, releasing the nutrients over time. The gooey texture, when squished, is the semi-dissolved fertilizer inside the coated sphere. The landscapers working at the house under construction next door likely spilled some of these fertilizer granules, and they have ended up in front of the neighbor's house. This 3-inch object is made of what seems to be graphite. It was found in a river in Wisconsin that rises 15 feet some years, so it drags in a lot of trash. It leaves a mark on paper like graphite. What is it? This looks like a worn piece of a CAD weld mold. CAD welding, or exothermic welding, is a process used to create very strong, permanent electrical connections, for example, welding a copper wire to a grounding rod. The process uses a graphite mold like this one. The wires are placed in the mold, and a mixture of copper oxide and aluminum powder is ignited. This creates an extremely hot, molten copper that flows over the wires, welding them together. This is a used and discarded fragment of one of those graphite molds. This very small, spiked-looking thing was found in a water cooler. The cooler was sterilized before use. What is this organic contaminant? This looks like a bit of moss. Even after sterilizing, it's possible a tiny piece of organic material was left behind or was introduced with the water bottle. Mosses are small, non-vascular plants, and some species have a structure that could look spiked on a microscopic level. It is a harmless piece of botanical debris that has found its way into the water cooler. What could this battery-operated device with buttons and a screen be? It was found with a bank card from 1982, which might help date it. Those are typically found on alarm clocks, and this looks all like one. In the 1980s, digital alarm clocks were very popular. This device, with its segmented LCD or LED screen for displaying the time and a series of buttons for setting the time and the alarm, is a classic example of a portable, battery-operated digital alarm clock from that era. The bank card found with it helps to perfectly date it to the early 80s. This is a strange, handheld, needle-like piston, about 20 inches long and made of metal. A child brought it home from a thrift store. When the plunger is pressed, a little needle thing comes out the other end. What is it? This is a camera shutter locking cable release. It is a mechanical tool used by photographers with older, fully manual film cameras. One end of the flexible cable screws into the shutter button of the camera. By pressing the plunger at the other end, a small pin is pushed, which depresses the camera's shutter button to take a picture without touching the camera directly, which prevents camera shake. The locking feature allows the shutter to be held open for a long period of time for long exposure photography. This lightweight plastic object, about 7 inches long, was found in a driveway at work. It has a metal bolt. The finder is guessing someone lost it out of a vehicle. What is it from? This is a gearbox from a Power Wheels or a similar brand of children's ride-on toy car. These electric ride-on toys are powered by a small electric motor that drives the wheels through a plastic gearbox like this one. The gearbox reduces the high speed of the motor to a slower, more powerful rotation for the wheel. These can sometimes break, or a parent might have been transporting a broken ride-on toy, and this part fell out. It's definitely for a kid's ride-on toy. This is a fairly thick cast brass medallion with a mountain, an eagle, the words "Trademark Osaka," and what looks like Chinese characters underneath. It was found by the finder's dad when his family purchased a farm in Florida back in the 60s. What is it? The characters are Japanese, and they say Tengao Jizuo Suo, Fujitaka Seisakusho, which translates to Fujitaka Manufacturing. This would be a nameplate, a badge, or a trademark medallion that was affixed to a piece of machinery or a product made by this company in Osaka, Japan. Without knowing what Fujitaka Manufacturing made, it's hard to be more specific, but this is the decorative brand identification plate from one of their products, which somehow found its way to a farm in Florida. This is a metal handle that, when moved, pushes or retracts a metal rod. What is this for? It's a toggle clamp. They come in various forms and are used for work holding in jigs and fixtures, especially in woodworking and metalworking. When the handle is moved to the locked position, the linkage mechanism applies a strong clamping force to hold a workpiece securely in place for drilling, welding, or gluing. When the handle is released, it retracts the clamping rod completely, allowing for quick removal of the finished part. They are essential for repetitive production work, as they allow for very fast clamping and unclamping. This black plastic clip was found in a backpack. We've had the backpack for ages, but there wasn't anything in there that this logically came off of. What is it? It's a blanking plate for something. A blanking plate is a cover used to fill an unused slot or opening on a piece of electronic equipment. For example, a computer case has slots for expansion cards. If a slot is unused, it's covered with a blanking plate. This could be a blanking plate from a port on a laptop, a piece of networking gear, or another electronic device that was once carried in the backpack. It's a common, if sometimes mysterious, small plastic part. This hard plastic box has two soft silicone inserts with silicone lids and a few holes. The inserts can be removed, and there's a small space beneath them. It was found in British Columbia, Canada. What is it for? This is for making clear big ice cubes. Regular ice cube trays freeze from all sides, which traps air and impurities in the center, making the ice cloudy. This device uses a technique called directional freezing. The main plastic box is insulated on the sides and bottom. You place the silicone molds on top and fill the whole thing with water. It then freezes slowly from the top down, pushing the air and impurities down into the water in the bottom of the box, which remains unfrozen. The result is perfectly clear, large ice cubes in the silicone molds. This metal object with holes, about 5 inches tall, was found with a metal detector near the site of an 1870s house. It seems to be a farming implement. What is it? I'm no farmer, but I think it's an old plow clevis. A clevis is a U-shaped metal fitting with holes in the end, used to connect different parts of a linkage. On a horse-drawn plow, a clevis like this one would have been used at the front of the plow beam. It was the attachment point where the single tree or the evener, to which the horse's harness was attached, would be connected. The multiple holes would allow for adjustments to the height and angle of the pull. It is a fundamental piece of antique farm hardware. These are rubbery brown discs with a floral motif. They look like wood, but have a rubbery texture. What are they? This is a rotational mold, likely made of high-temperature silicone rubber. The two pieces would be clamped together. Molten metal, such as pewter or another low melting point alloy, is then poured into the hole while the mold is being spun at high speed in a centrifugal casting machine. The centrifugal force distributes the molten metal into all the fine details of the floral cavity. This process is used for making detailed small metal items like jewelry, miniatures, or decorative hardware. The video link shows the process in action. This wooden object was found at a second-hand shop. It has strings holding it together, is lightweight, and spins. The finder thinks it might be a possible drying rack. What is it? This looks like a wooden umbrella swift. It is a tool used by knitters and crocheters to hold a skein or a hank of yarn while it is being wound into a ball. The skein of yarn is placed around the swift, which is then expanded like an umbrella to hold the loop of yarn under gentle tension. The swift spins freely as the user pulls the end of the yarn, allowing them to easily wind it into a center pull ball without the yarn getting tangled, which is a common frustration when trying to wind from a loose skein. This is a small, thin, cardboard packaging type material pull tab. The image indicates it is not for pregnant women. A whole bunch of these were hidden at the bottom of a trash can at a facility for high school-aged children. What is it? This appears to be packaging from a medication, specifically the acne medication Accutane, isotretinoin, or a generic version of it. This medication is known to cause severe birth defects, so it comes with very strong warnings, including the "not for pregnant women" symbol. The packaging for the monthly blister packs often includes these cardboard pull tabs as part of a safety and compliance system. Finding them in this context is a serious concern that should be addressed by the facility's administration. This is a project box with RCA connectors and what looks like audio output transformers. What does this device do? This device was designed to stop what audiophiles call a ground loop hum. When you connect two different pieces of high-end audio equipment, like a turntable and an amplifier, that are plugged into different electrical outlets, you can sometimes get a low-frequency humming sound. This is caused by a ground loop. This device, which is a ground loop isolator, uses transformers to connect the two pieces of equipment. The audio signal can pass through the transformers, but the electrical connection between the grounds is broken, which eliminates the hum. Someone rammed through the gate on my property with their truck, and we found this on the road after they had left. It's made of plastic. I assume it had broken off. What is it? This looks like the plastic covering from the crossbar of a Raleigh brand-keyed bicycle U-lock. A U-lock is a common type of bicycle lock. This plastic piece is the housing that covers the locking mechanism in the crossbar. It was likely attached to the truck's grille or bumper, perhaps from a previous unrelated incident, and was then knocked off when the truck hit the gate. The link shows a similar Raleigh U-lock for comparison. These plastic clips are on the front of my apartment's baseboard heater fins. I don't believe they're expansion cradles because they aren't on the supports. What are they? They are supposed to be on the bottom of the fins and centered on the support brackets. Their purpose is to reduce noise. A hydronic baseboard heater consists of a copper pipe with many thin aluminum fins. As the pipe heats up and cools down, it expands and contracts. This movement can cause the metal fins to tick or ping as they rub against the support brackets. These small plastic clips act as a buffer or a glide between the fins and the brackets, allowing for silent expansion and contraction and eliminating the annoying noises. Found in a kitchen drawer, this is a dark-colored hardboard about 1 foot by 2 feet. Does anyone recognize the logo or know what this is used for? This is a Dori bath mat. It is not made of hardboard, but of diatomaceous earth, a naturally occurring porous material made from fossilized diatoms. These mats are incredibly absorbent and dry, almost instantly. When you step out of the shower onto the mat, the water is immediately drawn from your feet and evaporates very quickly, preventing the mat from getting soggy and mildewed like a traditional fabric bath mat. The logo is for the Dori Home brand. My husband found this glass tube thing at work. It might say ball on one side and looks to fit on top of a mason jar. It's about 8 inches long. What is it? This is a hummingbird feeder, a specific type designed to screw onto a standard mason jar. The mason jar, made by the Ball Company, hence the ball marking, would be filled with sugar water. This glass tube part, with its feeding port at the end, would then be screwed onto the jar. The entire assembly is then inverted and hung up. The vacuum created inside the jar prevents the sugar water from leaking out, but allows hummingbirds to access the nectar with their long tongues through the feeding port. Came across this item so many times, but I don't know the exact name. It's plastic, not very durable, and self-adhesive. It's used for hats or other clothing. What is it? As a quality control worker for garment printing explains, these are self-sealing plastic garment bags. They are used by manufacturers and retailers to individually package items of clothing, like t-shirts or hats, to keep them clean and protected before sale. They have a strip of adhesive on the flap, which is used to seal the bag. The commenter notes that the ones with adhesive, instead of a Ziploc-style seal, are probably the cheaper types, designed for single-use packaging. Small, shiny black beads fell out of my exhaust. There are hundreds of them. When I try to crush them, the black comes off, leaving a similar-sized white bead. It's an RLV 4110 exhaust from a 4-stroke racing go-kart motor that was sitting in a truck bed. These are dried-up berries of some sort, likely stashed there by a rodent. A mouse or a chipmunk has used your go-kart's exhaust pipe as a place to store its food cache. The fruity part of the berry is the black stuff, which is now dried. The white part that you expose by removing the black is the seed. Rodents are notorious for building nests and stashing food in the exhaust systems and airboxes of vehicles that have been sitting for a while. This small metal object was found on a beach in Massachusetts. What is this electronic component? This looks exactly like a mounting board for a power LED. High-power LEDs, used in modern flashlights, automotive lighting, and industrial applications, generate a lot of heat. To dissipate this heat, the small LED chip is mounted onto a metal core printed circuit board, MCPCB, often with a star-shaped design like this one. The metal base acts as a heat sink, drawing heat away from the LED. The two pads are the positive and negative solder points for connecting the wires. This one has likely come from a piece of marine lighting that was lost at sea. Found this thing on the floor while I was cleaning this morning. It's lightweight, completely flat on one side, and slightly flexible. No clue where it came from. What is it? This is the waste plastic from the manufacturing of a plastic jug handle, like from a milk or orange juice jug. During the blow molding process that creates these jugs, there is often a small piece of excess plastic, called flash, that is trimmed off. This is the piece that is punched out from the inside of the handle to create the opening for your fingers. It's a common piece of manufacturing scrap that sometimes doesn't get properly discarded and can end up still loosely attached to the jug you buy at the store. It's been in the house for years, but the finder can't figure out what it is. It suctions onto the wall and has some weird tube at the bottom. What is it? It's the air mattress for a bath spa. The suction cups are for sticking it to the floor of the bathtub. A separate air pump and hose would be connected to the weird tube at the bottom. The pump would then blow air into the mattress, which would exit through many small holes, creating a jacuzzi-like bubbling effect in the bathwater. The commenter's ex-wife lost the hose but wouldn't let him throw it away, a testament to how often these components get separated. This extremely large cylindrical structure was seen with 3 state highway patrol escorts and multiple other escort vehicles traveling northbound in Clermont, FL. What is it? This is a big horizontal tank. Its exact purpose is hard to determine without seeing the ports, but it is a large industrial pressure or storage vessel. The extensive police escort indicates it is an oversized load that requires traffic control for safe transport. It could be a holding tank for a chemical plant, a brewery, or a water treatment facility. Given its size and the nature of escorted transport, it is a significant and expensive piece of industrial equipment on its way to a new installation. This 2-inch bolt was found in the grass by the curb. It could be a car part since neighbors work on their cars on the street. It has no holes or markings. It's 1/2 of a trailer security seal, also known as a bolt seal. These are high-security, single-use locks used to seal the doors of shipping containers and semi-trailers. The seal consists of a steel bolt and a separate locking body. The bolt is passed through the door's latch, and the locking body is pushed onto the end, where it snaps permanently in place. To open the container, the bolt must be cut with bolt cutters. This is the bolt half that has been cut off and discarded after a trailer was opened. What is this magnet for? It's about the size of a credit card, flat, and was found in a clothing store. It's slightly magnetic, like a low-quality fridge magnet. It's an RFID blocking patch, likely one that is sewn into the pocket of an article of clothing, a purse, or a laptop bag. RFID stands for radio frequency identification. Many modern credit cards and passports have RFID chips that can be read wirelessly. These blocking patches contain a material that blocks these radio waves, preventing thieves with a portable RFID skimmer from wirelessly stealing your credit card information. The slight magnetism is likely just a property of the material used for the shielding. Saw this structure on a flatbed this morning. It's metal, looks electrical, with wood all around it for shipping. What is it? This is a high-voltage electrical pole switch for a substation. This is a large, heavy-duty switch used in an electrical substation to open or close a high-voltage circuit, for example, to de-energize a transmission line for maintenance. The long ceramic or glass insulators are necessary to withstand the very high voltages. The link shows a similar Pascore brand switch with arcing horns, which are used to help extinguish the electrical arc that is created when a high-voltage circuit is opened. This hook-looking thing is not heavy at all, black, and fell out of a car as it drove past. It's slightly oily, but with very old oil. What is it? It's a kind of bracket that would be used to hold a hose or a pipe in place in an engine bay. It is a simple clamp or clip. The main part would be bolted to the engine or the chassis, and a hose for coolant, fuel, or vacuum, or a bundle of wires would be routed through the hooked or looped part of the bracket. This keeps the hose or wires from rubbing against hot or moving parts and from vibrating. This one has likely broken or rusted off an older vehicle. What is this yellowish, puffy substance in my closet? It has the consistency of styrofoam. It's in the closet with my washer and dryer. This is expanding spray foam. It is a type of polyurethane foam that is used for sealing and insulating gaps and cracks in construction. It comes in a can and is sprayed into a hole or a gap as a liquid. It then rapidly expands to many times its original size, filling the void, and then hardens into a rigid, lightweight foam. A plumber or an HVAC technician likely used it to seal the hole where the washer's drain pipe or the dryer's vent pipe passes through the wall, and some of the excess foam oozed out. This is a cylinder thing attached to a van door. Is there a drain or spigot on the bottom? This is likely a solar hot water can for camping or for activities like surfing. It is a simple, portable solar water heater. The black painted cylinder is filled with water and is left in the sun. The black surface absorbs the sun's heat, warming the water inside. The drain or spigot at the bottom would then allow the user to have a supply of warm water for a quick shower or for washing dishes while camping or after a day at the beach. It is a very common and effective piece of low-tech camping gear. These are 3 small plastic objects, possibly related. 2 are clearly power adapters, but I'm not sure what for. What is the third plastic thing? The 2 plugs are international travel adapters for different electrical outlets, likely from a universal charger. The third plastic thing is a shaker thing for a reusable water bottle or a protein shaker. It is an agitator or a mixer that is placed inside the bottle. When you shake the bottle, this plastic piece bounces around and helps to break up clumps of protein powder or other supplements, ensuring a smooth, well-mixed drink. The link shows a bottle with the same style of shaker. This large metal object was headed into Lockheed Martin in Titusville, Florida, with a wide load convoy. What is this massive piece of aerospace hardware? It's almost definitely part of a launch tower. The photo shows a segment already constructed with a similar guide rail. Lockheed Martin and other aerospace companies in that area of Florida, the Space Coast, are involved in building and launching rockets. A launch tower is the large structure on the launch pad that provides support and services to the rocket before liftoff. This large, heavy-duty metal truss section, with what appears to be a guide rail for an elevator or a service platform, is a prefabricated component of one of these massive launch service structures. This is a shelf or display with flat inserts on one side and dowels on the other. Someone said it was a wine rack, but the finder doesn't see how. What is it? This is a shoe rack. It is designed to be placed in a closet or an entryway. You would place shoes on it with the heels resting on the dowel side and the toes pointing towards the side with the flat inserts. The dowels elevate the heels, and the flat inserts act as a stop for the front of the shoes. It's a simple, space-saving design for organizing multiple pairs of shoes. This is a wooden box of some sort, about 4 inches wide and 12 inches long. It has coin-like slots, a magnetic top piece bottom, and 2 open-ended slots on the ends. It was likely from Amazon and was found at a resale shop. This is a cable management box. It's a decorative and functional box designed to hide the clutter of a power strip and all the associated power adapters and excess cables. You would place your power strip inside the box. The cables for your various devices would be routed out through the slots on the ends or the top. The magnetic lid makes it easy to access the power strip. It's a popular home and office accessory for creating a tidier and more organized workspace. This is a soft, fluffy white substance coating an old metal barrel. What could it be? Could that be asbestos insulation on an old water heater? The commenter warns not to breathe it. In the past, many water heaters and boilers were insulated with a layer of asbestos, which is an excellent insulator and is fireproof. This insulation often has a soft, white, fibrous, or fluffy appearance. Over time, it can become friable, meaning it can easily crumble and release dangerous asbestos fibers into the air. If this is an old water heater, it should be treated as potentially containing asbestos and should only be handled or removed by a licensed asbestos abatement professional. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay curious. More finds coming soon.